Today we are here at Kalani Country Club and we are going to speak to Erik Kruger.
Yes, he's the founder and CEO of Betterman Foundation, and we're going to find out what exactly is Betterman and what does he want to achieve with this program. So let's go find out. Erik, thank you very much for your time. I know you're fairly busy, and thank you just for having this conversation with us. So you've started a platform called Betterman, a following called Betterman. How did the idea come about? Was it always a passion of yours to inspire people?
So I'll have to take you back a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
In 2009, I was introduced to this online world, and I thought that's what I want to be. So I want to be a successful online entrepreneur. And the appeal was that you can build a website, sit back and relax, and everyone comes to your website, and like you're getting all this passive income. So it's like the dream, right? Didn't realize that building a business is actually hard work. Yes. So got really sort of bitten by this bug, this online bug, and tried idea after idea after idea, never letting one of them really get any traction. And then eventually, in about 2014, I said, well, I need to stop focusing on all of these things and just focus on one specific thing. And that one specific thing was Betterman. Okay. And it really just came from a very sort of authentic place inside of me. I thought, I've always said to myself that I want to be a better man when I go to bed at night versus when I woke up that morning. So it wasn't the most original name, Betterman, but that was what it was. I just wanted to be better every day. Yeah. And the idea was that I was going to share my journey with the world through this platform called Betterman. The idea was to interview successful people, ask them how they got there, and share that. And pretty much after I started, it gained quite a bit of traction. And it's because of those 4 years of trying different ideas that I sort of built up the skills to get it to a place where at the moment we have 18,000 guys in the Facebook group. Okay, wow. About 18,000 people on the email list.
How long ago did it start?
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
So it's about 4 years.
So we had like quite a bit of growth initially, then it slowed down a bit, then like it's been like these spurts, and it's been very closely tied to kind of my own thinking, like where I've been in my own journey with Betterman.
Yeah, and from the beginning, did you want to make it big, or how did you grow actually that to 18,000? That's quite a lot. So is it organic growth, or did you put in the time or take some steps?
I mean, I'd say mainly it's been me just understanding how digital marketing works, and then some of it has been organic. So like there's, if I had to break it down, I'd say probably 80-20, and 80 being me just digital marketing the hell out of it, and 20% organic growth. So the problem is that we live in a world that's very crowded, very busy, and algorithms changing all the time. And if we think that we're going to create something and people are just going to find it, it just doesn't work like that. So you have to be out there producing content, showing up every day so that people can find you and that they can connect with your message.
I think that, like you said, delivering content that people actually can use. And your slogan is making men unstoppable. I think, what's your definition of unstoppable for men? What is that definition? What do you want people to be, men to be?
So I think ultimately that's living life to your fullest potential, and it comes back to a principle I talk about quite often called accretion, which is really making better decisions in every moment of the day. Because it's so easy to get sidetracked, and there's so many things that want our attention. And if we give our attention, it's a very finite resource, then we end up with no energy reserves to actually pursue the things that we want to pursue. And so for me, unstoppable means that I go through my day with intention, knowing where I'm going to spend my time, where I'm going to spend my energy, and that it's moving me closer to the person that I want to be and the things that I want to achieve.
Our motto at The Catalyst is passion and practice makes profit. So you've got this passion and you realize Betterman, it talks to you. So to someone else out there that's also got this passion inside of them, what practical advice will you give them to make a living of it or make a profit out of it?
So probably the first thing I'd say is don't follow your passion.
So we need to change the
Just because it's tough, I think there's a very interesting relationship that we have with monetizing a passion. And so I'll give you like a small example. Like this daily email that I write is something that I do because I love the field, and I love learning, and I love sharing my learning. If I had to charge people for that, it would change my relationship with what I'm doing. So all of a sudden, because you're paying for it, you have an expectation, and because of that, it changes the way my relationship with you, right? So now I feel like you're expecting me to produce content, and all of a sudden, the love that I had for it starts diminishing. Not to say that some people aren't lucky enough to have their passion really sort of coincide with what they're good at and what they can monetize. But I think very often our passions either can't really be monetized, it's very hard to monetize, or we follow our passion and not our strengths. So like, I think, so passion can lead you astray. For me, passion is just like fire that burns hot, right? And sometimes we're very passionate, and then our passion sort of fizzles over time. And it makes more sense for me to sort of focus on your efforts. And so to go back to what you were saying is that I haven't been passionate about Betterman from the beginning. Like, I've just been passionate about self-development. And over time, because I've been putting in the effort, I saw opportunities to monetize it. But if I tried to monetize it early on, I probably wouldn't have gotten to where I am today.
Now that's a very interesting point, because I like golf, and I can almost sound passionate about golf, but you have to be realistic. I'm never going to be like a pro golfer. You have to also see what you are good at naturally, and maybe pursue that rather than just having this incredible feeling of a passion. So what is your future, or what do you want to achieve then? Is it to inspire one or two people and to make their life better? Or is it to reach every man in South Africa? What is your vision with Betterman and for yourself as well?
So it's always been kind of wide and deep, so impact and influence. So influence meaning that I want to reach as many people as I can, and that's mainly happening through the group, through the events. We're trying to set up sort of more satellite networking events across the country, but then also impact where it's deep, where it's meaningful, and that's where the coaching ties into it. So more and more I'm diving into coaching, more and more I'm making myself available for that, and that to me is the real meaningful part of it. You know, I have a inbox with, and I count them, I'm sitting on 1,053 testimonials from people who've said that the daily email has changed something in their lives. And it's awesome. It's awesome to have that sort of reach, but at the same time I enjoy the one-on-one conversations where you can hold someone accountable and you can be a sounding board for them to think through what's going on in their lives. So it's definitely wide and deep,
But on goal setting, is it important to have this specific goal, or is it just to have one goal or 10 goals, or is it a secret number, only have 3 goals, or how would you recommend go with goal setting?
It's a tough one. Like, I really think we try and simplify goal setting when it's not very simple. So obviously having a specific number is so much easier to work towards, right? But then how big do you make it? How small should it be? Like, if it's too big, I become demotivated. If it's too easy to accomplish, I become demotivated. So it's almost very hard to find that sort of magic number that you can work towards. And I see this with people all the time. It's like they get so confused with goal setting because there's all these expectations about how you set goals. And some people will tell you, like, you need to take massive action. Like, your goals need to be so big that you can't reach them.
Big, airy, audacious goals.
Exactly, the bad goals.
Scary.
Exactly. So that's where you should go. And then people get to like that moment and they become paralyzed, because this means if there's an opportunity for a massive upside, there's also an opportunity for a massive downside, right? So I can succeed wildly or I can fail wildly. And people don't like that. So that's why it's always, for me, personally, I prefer specific. I prefer to say, I'm going to work towards signing up 10 clients at the end of the month. What does that look like specifically? Like, what daily practice do I need to do that? And it might be that you get to the end of the month and you didn't accomplish it, but you would have learned something from it.
I think that's the key. And I think I've read somewhere that you said about incremental self-development, and that's basically just being better every day, even if it's one step closer or if it's one leap closer, you know. So it's just kind of, you have a goal, you have a target, even if it's not specific, but you are working towards that in a certain sense. And I think that's maybe the key to it.
I read an awesome story, and it's a movie as well. I think it's called Lone Soldier. I'm not quite sure. I think it is Lone Soldier. 4 Navy SEALs were dropped into a war zone. They had to go capture a high-value target. 3 of them got killed. I'll give you the abbreviated version because we're short for time. 3 of them got killed. The one guy got shot up, like he bit off half his tongue, he had a broken back, broken leg, but he still managed to ultimately get to a village which was about 11 kilometers down the line, and he crawled there. And when they asked him, how did you get to do that? How did you manage? He said that when I made up my mind that I wasn't going to die, I took a rock and I drew a line in the sand and I said, all I need to do is cross this line. And then when he crossed that line, he took that rock, drew it in the sand, said, all I need to do is cross this line. And he did that. He drew lines for 11 kilometers. And that's how he got there, you know. And so that to me is always like, what is the small thing that I can do today? And it comes back to what we were speaking about a bit earlier. What's the small decision I can make today that I know over time will accumulate into a better me, into me reaching my goals, into me being who I want to be? What is the small action that I can take today that's going to accumulate over time and get me to where I want to be?
So do you have daily practices, or do you have got monthly goals, or how do you do it practically in your life?
So for me, practically, I sit down every day like with a journal every morning. I spend 20 minutes meditating, then I spend 10 minutes journaling. And my journaling practice it's called JIG. So the J means that I'm just journaling freehand, what's been happening, failures, successes, just to almost dump a bit of what's happening in my mind onto the paper. Then it's actually a 1, it's not an I. The 1 is what is the one thing that I need to get done today that's going to move me forward. So it's not necessarily tied to, you know, that specific 10 people goal, but it's what is the one thing that I feel I need to do today that's going to make a difference in my life, in my business.
What you stress about.
Yeah. And then the G is just gratitude. So, you know, what am I grateful for? 3 things that I'm grateful for, just to get my mind into the right place. But to answer your question, I do both. So I've come to love affirmations, not in that I believe that they're going to magically appear and create something in your life, but as a meditation of keeping you focused on the bigger picture, and then also breaking it down into something a bit more tangible and saying, you know, for example, 10 clients in the month, and what does that look like? So I do both.
Okay.
And you think it's just repetition every morning, looking at your goal, because it's like you said, that's why New Year's resolutions, maybe they don't work, because you set it at once, but you don't review it actually.
It's so important.
You don't see it every
so
morning, like you said, with an affirmation, or when you do it every morning. It's that repetition. Because you won't always feel motivated, always feel working towards that goal, but it's good to then see, and it's good to have the why. Why do you want to achieve this goal? That's very important as well.
In my coaching practice, the number one thing is, what does your daily practice look like? And that is the one thing, because your days become your weeks become your months, months become your years. So what is your daily practice looking like? Are you looking after your mind, your body, your spirit, your relationships, your career? Like, are you making time for all of that? And most of us don't, and we let it slide. It's so easy for that to happen. And it's not because we're bad people or because we're lazy people, it's just life gets busy. So you have all of these good intentions, how do you translate that into action? And how do you stay consistent with it?
So you've got specific goals in each of those areas, in spiritual, relationships and business.
So not necessarily goals specifically in each of those areas, because I think that's part of the problem as well, is that you end up with this sort of to-do list full of goals that you need to revise every time, and it just becomes unmanageable. You know, I don't think life is meant to be lived like a machine, where we're just sitting down every day and we're just looking at the specific goal. Like, I just want to have a good relationship with my girlfriend. You know, like, I'm not gonna put on my to-do list like dishes today. Like, this is part of my daily practice. You know,
talk to her.
Maybe she'll watch this and you should change this.
I just want us to have a good relationship, and like, what does that mean? Like, it doesn't mean that it's on my to-do list, but it's definitely part of my intention. You know, so again, coming back to like the affirmations. So it's a part of my bigger picture of how my life should be, but it's not a
set in stone.
Tick off, like a tick off the list kind of action.
But you don't need to hit yourself on the back if you don't.
Because
she does that.
she does that for you. But a lot of people say that exactly. So they have all these ambitious goals, and then they achieve it, and like, I'm not really happy. You know, so what does this mean? What's next? Do I have to even put higher goals for myself? You know, so you kind of can lose yourself in between. It's not happiness always achieving your goals.
Because you're living in the future, like you're just living in what's coming, you know. So part of my daily practice is then saying, so I have these 5 areas of my life. How am I doing in each of them? Like, am I at a 10? Am I at a 1? and then I can just constantly reevaluate where I am and direct my efforts where it needs to go. Because we have limited amount of time. Sometimes work takes preference, sometimes friends takes preference. It's just the way life works. So it's a constant recalibration of where your energy and your effort goes.
Okay, thank you very much, Erik. So we're going to play a little game, 30 seconds.
Cool.
It's not like 30 seconds, but actually we give you 1 minute.
Perfect.
And the only catch is you need to describe the list we're going to give you. We don't know about the list.
Yes.
In 3 words or less.
Okay.
So if you use more than 3 words, it doesn't count. And we're going to give you a minute to see how many you have. At this stage, leader is at 5 in the 1 minute. So
Julian is at 5, so it's beatable.
Pressure.
Just keep to the rules, and it will be fine.
We can see if you become a better man than me.
All right.
Okay, so we're gonna.
Okay, so yeah, you can explain to both of us. Yeah, so there's apparently 2 lists, and you can use one. Are you keeping time, PJ?
Yes, I will keep time.
So I have to describe this to you in 3 words.
To us, yes. But
Okay.
you can skip one, so you don't have to go in order.
Okay.
So you can choose one and just start. Okay. If you time it down.
Give me 1 second just to see which.
No,
one
we
is
can't give you too much.
Yeah.
easier.
Just
to-
start counting down.
to go with.
Okay,
Counting down.
3, 2, 1, go.
Drinking color brand.
Red
Black
vodka.
label. Black label. Black Johnny Black. Johnny Black. Black lager.
No.
Black.
Red. Square.
No.
It's square.
Okay, skip.
Maybe skip all that. Blue
MTN
label.
There we go. MTN opposition.
Vodacom.
Celsius. Yeah.
Celsius.
Current president.
Cyril Ramaphosa.
Queen best song.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Justice League.
DC.
Marvel.
DC.
Captain America.
Superman.
Justice League. Marvel.
Avengers.
I don't watch
Golf.
comics.
Bank. Competition.
Netbank.
Uh,
Golf
$1 million
Challenge.
challenge.
Sun
$1
City.
million
yeah.
challenge.
Superhero. Arrow. Color.
Green Lantern. Stop. What's that?
Sam.
Green Arrow. You were close.
Green.
You
Well
say
done,
arrow.
what-
You said arrow. But
Did I say Arrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
What's the score? That's why I went for a lap.
What did you give
What's
us?
the score?
6. So we had Blue Label, Vodacom, Cyril, Netbank Golf Challenge, Bohemian Rhapsody,
and
The
Avengers.
Avengers.
6.
6.
Well done. You've got the 2 best scores, so that's well done. But thank you very much, Erik. So just for
pleasure, thank
people
you.
that didn't watch the first one, where can they keep in touch or
Yeah,
get?
so erikkruger.com. It links to pretty much everything else that I'm doing.
Awesome.
Thanks,
man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate
Cheers,
it.
and we look forward
Thanks,
to seeing
gents.
more of what you do. Yeah?
Thank you very much.
Inspiring.
Just to make clear, this is still the first one.
Same whiskey.